Run it back! Run it back! Run it back!
100 days from now, the LA Rams will begin their title defense in the same place they hoisted the Lombardi Trophy, at home in SoFi Stadium against the team favored to win Super Bowl 57, the Buffalo Bills. And as always, there are a bevy of storylines to look forward to this season. No shortage of revenge games, starting with Russell Wilson and the Broncos visiting Seattle in Week 1.
I'm excited about wearing the blue and orange. I'm proud to be a Bronco, and I'm super excited about winning.
How about the divisional game thriller at Arrowhead that inspired the league to change the overtime rules for the playoffs? It'll have an encore in Week 6. Josh Allen and the Bills going back to Kansas City to take on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, a game you can see on CBS.
It happened. There's no going back. We've completely turned our focus towards this next season and trying to figure out how do we win that Super Bowl.
The retired/unretired Tom Brady and the Bucs favored to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl and will get another shot at the Rams, this time at the Pirate Ship in Week 9 on CBS. Carson Wentz will get 2 shots at the Eagles with the newly branded Washington Commanders. And AFC West rivals, the Las Vegas Raiders and LA Chargers, will renew pleasantries in Week 1. This after their Sunday night classic in the regular season finale, which sent the Raiders to the playoffs and the Chargers packing. Week 1 also gives us our first regular season look at the rookie class, with plenty of fresh faces making their NFL debut. And then there are the old faces in new places.
It's going to be a long season. It's going to be a fun season too, though, so I'm excited, man.
The anticipation of a new NFL season can be described by using the immortal words of Bart Scott. Can't wait. The countdown to kickoff is here. 100 days to a brand new season.
Thanks very much, Hakeem Dermish. This offseason has been like no other. It's actually hard to believe that we're just 100 days until the start of the 2022 season. Mini camps this coming Sunday. Final push towards training camps, which open early. Arizona and New Orleans, July 24th. The rest of the leagues open camp a week later. We're talking about the NFL awards next season. You look at the odds. Josh Allen, the favorite to win MVP, 2 tied at plus 700. For Defensive Player of the Year, Aaron Donald and TJ Watt. Comeback Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Aiden Hutchinson for Defensive Rookie of the Year, plus 350. Let's go bet to the future with our NFL analyst, Ryan Wilson. Ryan sees the odds, but it's going to give us his picks for the awards this season. Ryan, first of all, let me just start by saying, how much money should I be setting aside for these bets that you're about to recommend?
You might be better served watching the Early Edge podcast with our guy Coach and the gang there. But hey, if you got a $5 bill laying around, expect to make maybe not make your money back. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, I think you underestimate. Some of these picks are really good. Let's go right to the top. We start at MVP. Josh Allen, you saw on the boards, the favorite. Which way are you going in terms of MVP?
So a year ago it was Aaron Rodgers, the old hand at the quarterback position. Josh Allen is the favorite. The Bills feel like they're the favorite in terms of winning the Super Bowl, being the best team in the AFC, and obviously the best team overall. I'm going with Justin Herbert. And Justin Herbert was my dark horse last year to win the MVP. And our buddy John Breach, the Pick Six podcast, mentions this all the time when I would talk about Justin Herbert. In order to be the MVP, your team has to win the division. That's a problem in the AFC West where Patrick Mahomes currently resides, as does this new guy named Russ Wilson. That said, I'm all in on the Chargers this year. I love Brandon Staley. I love what that offense brings. I love Justin Herbert. And I say that 3 years after not being crazy about Justin Herbert during his last year at Oregon. I didn't think he would translate to the player that he has become, and that just shows that sometimes 1 year on the field in college doesn't tell you what the player will look like going forward. And he has been absolutely lights out. And not only is he a legit MVP candidate, he is one of the best players in the NFL, right up there with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes in terms of the young guns making their moves. And obviously, I think he's very soon, if not already, going to surpass Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers in terms of productivity. Not quite there yet, but I love the Chargers. I love Justin Herbert going into year 3, and I like the odds of him winning that MVP, Jeremy.
Certainly sitting there nicely at 12-1. Certainly better than Emory Hunt, who has Jameis Winston winning at 150. To 1, riding with America's quarterback. All right, let's talk about Defensive Player of the Year. It's between Aaron Donald, if he plays. I mean, that's now apparently a big question. T.J. Watt in there as well. If you don't like either of those guys, who are you going with?
Yeah, I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to go with Micah Parsons, who actually was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year a year ago as a rookie, where he absolutely dominated. He had 13 sacks, 20 tackles for loss, 3 forced fumbles, and he did it all playing a position he had not played since high school. He was drafted out of Penn State. He opted out the year before because of COVID, but he was an off-ball linebacker for the Nittany Lions. He had taken some snaps as an edge rusher in high school, and then they needed him to fill a need in Dallas, and he just steps up and dominates. And he dominates play in and play out, an absolute difference maker and a nice puzzle piece for that Dan Quinn defense. I love him at plus 1,000. And look, you mentioned Aaron Donald. We don't know what's going on there. T.J. Watt had 22.5 sacks last year, rightly deserving of that award. But can he go back-to-back at plus 700? And then after him is Myles Garrett, who is a good bet as well, I think, at plus 750. But I think for bang for the buck and the youth, the explosiveness, the athleticism, and all the things we saw coming off his first year, Micah Parsons is going to be my guy at plus 1,000.
What about, let's talk about the Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Caesars likes Aiden Hutchinson. Where do you fall there?
Yeah, I love Aiden Hutchinson as well, but I'm going to mix it up a little bit, Jeremy. The last 3 years, by the way, the award has gone to an edge rusher, Chase Young, Nick Bosa, and then Darius Leonard, the off-ball linebacker. You have to go back to 2017 to find a defensive back to win this award, Marshawn Lattimore. I'm going to go with Kyle Hamilton. And Kyle Hamilton is a long shot in that he's at plus 1,100. The favorite, you mentioned Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson is at plus 350. So why am I going with Kyle Hamilton? He got panned during the pre-draft process because of those slow 40 times at the combine in his pro day. But on the field, he was absolutely electric. And I think he's going to be in a defense where he's not going to be asked to do a whole bunch in terms of taking over that defense, because there are a lot of good players around him. And he's going to have opportunities to get interceptions. And we saw that last year in Dallas in terms of what the cornerback was able to do when he was in the running for the MVP award, the Defensive Player of the Year award. I think Kyle Hamilton can have similar type success. He's extremely mature, and I think he's shown well at OTAs. I'm sort of smirking because every player in the history of NFL football has had really good OTAs. But Kyle Hamilton has done really well in past weeks, and I think that's going to translate once we get to the season, and he'll be in that running at plus 1,100. I sort of like it.
I don't mind that either. Okay, so let's go to the other side of the ball. The Offensive Rookie of the Year. Odds makers like Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett. It's a good situation for Pickett there in Steeltown. What say you?
Yeah, this just assumes that Kenny Pickett wins the job. They signed Mitchell Trubisky in the offseason to a 2-year deal before the draft, so we'll see who wins that quarterback battle. And Kenny Pickett is an obvious answer. The quarterback is the person with the ball in their hands most. 2 years ago, Justin Herbert won that award. Last year, however, it was Jamar Chase, a wide receiver, which we don't see all the time, but you have to go back to 2018 to find a running back, and that's where I'm going this time. I'm going Breece Hall, the second-round pick of the Jets. 2018, it was Saquon. The year before that, it was Alvin Kamara. So Breece Hall is going to be my guy for New York. Why? Because they don't have a lot in terms offensively to help Zach Wilson out. They drafted Garrett Wilson, and he could certainly be in the mix without question. But I think in terms of helping a young quarterback, you start with the running game. And Breece Hall is going to have every opportunity. They drafted Michael Carter last year. He's more of a complementary piece. He's not an every down player. They do have Devin Coleman. They signed Bam Knight as an undrafted free agent. But I think for Breece Hall, who was absolutely electric in college, that's going to translate pretty quickly into the NFL, where he'll have an opportunity early and often to help not only the run game, Jeremy, but also as a receiver coming out of the backfield.
Ryan, you tried to get on Breece Hall's good side after what happened at the Combine?
Yeah, I was wondering why you're laughing at me. I thought I said the wrong name. Yeah, that's right. So just a quick recap. Jamie Eisenberg and I were on set with Breece Hall, and he was kind enough, Jamie was, to point out that I had Breece Hall as my number 2 running back behind Ken Walker. Breece Hall did not take it well, and you can go watch it on YouTube if you want to see the awkwardness unfold in real time. Thanks for bringing that up, Jeremy.
Yes, I think he said I'm top 2 and not 2. I think that's exactly what the quote was. It was certainly a good moment.
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah, go check it out on YouTube. But certainly a good choice at 8-1. For Breece Hall to be the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Okay, so looking at Coach of the Year, the odds were even for all of them. We didn't really put them on the board because of the fact that there's just so many. There are all of them. But you say one head coach stands above the rest. Who is your pick?
Yeah, so 8 head coaches are currently at plus 1,500, but I'm going to keep the Chargers theme alive. I'm going with Brandon Staley. And I know he's not everyone's cup of tea because he goes for every single fourth down no matter where the Chargers are on the field, sometimes with success and sometimes with failure that really sort of slaps you in the face as you see it unfold. But that said, I love everything he does, and he's made that football team better. They were 9-8 last year. They were one tie game, and they were in overtime with the Raiders there in Week 18 of going to the playoffs in year one. It didn't happen. I think they clean up some of the sloppiness that cost him games last season. Justin Herbert, as I mentioned, is my MVP candidate. He's going to be better. They have Keenan Allen. They have that defense that's going to be better. Derwin James is healthy. All those reasons taken together, I think Brandon Staley makes some noise in the toughest division in football, gets that team to the playoffs. They make a deep run there, and then I think he wins the old Coach of the Year award.
All right, so 2 Chargers picks. Justin Herbert for the MVP and Brandon Staley for Coach of the Year from the Chargers. Derrick Henry was on his way to another monster season when he suffered a Jones fracture in his foot. I remember it well because it derailed my fantasy football season. It derailed the season for him as well. He's the favorite for Comeback Player of the Year. Ryan, you don't think so?
No, it's sort of funny that he's the favorite for Comeback Player of the Year. He came back in that playoff game and was ineffective in that loss against the Bengals. More ineffective, however, was Ryan Tannehill. Maybe he should be at the top of this list. But you mentioned Derrick Henry. I'm going to go in a different direction. I'm going to go with the running back, however, or as Pete Prisco likes to call them, airbacks, Christian McCaffrey. He has not done a whole bunch the last 2 seasons because of injuries. He played 3 games in 2020, only 7 games last year. If he can get back to the form that we saw in 2018 and 2019, where he averaged 1,100 rushing yards, about 930 receiving yards, that would be a huge get for whether it's Matt Corral, should he get the job in Carolina, whether it's Sam Darnold, certainly Matt Rule, who's looking to hold on to that job. It all comes down to Christian McCaffrey, who's making top-of-the-line money for obvious reasons. He just hasn't been healthy the last 2 years. He's at plus 1,200, and I like that a lot better than Derrick Henry at plus 350 as we sit here. 23 games missed over the past 2 seasons, and Ryan, you're making a big assumption that McCaffrey actually lasts the full season at 12-1, but certainly probably worth, the $5 you were saying to put up. Last, let's talk about a Super Bowl winner. Buffalo, the Bucs, Chiefs, Packers, and the defending champion Rams are the odds-on favorites. Give us your pick for Super Bowl 57. Yeah, I'm keeping this pretty close to chalk. I don't see any sleepers as we sit here in late May, almost June here. So I'm going Buffalo at plus 650. They're the favorites from the Super Bowl. They're going to beat the Packers. The Packers are currently plus 1,100. The Bills are at the top. You can see there. The Packers are 4th. The Buccaneers at plus 750. I'm sort of surprised. I don't know where Tom Brady's head is at in terms of football. He's been focused on a lot of other things. He retired for a month until his wife kicked him out of the house, it seems like. And then you have the Rams there at plus 1,100, a team trying to repeat, which is always difficult for a team, for a defending Super Bowl champ. And I'll mention the Chargers. I got to keep the Chargers in the conversation. They're currently 7th at plus 1,600 if you want to keep sprinkling money on Justin Herbert and Brandon Staley. But I think that the Bills, who had very few holes going into the draft, and they filled those holes early and often, they're actually a better football team than they were in the last season. They're going to have a lot to prove after the way their season ended in Kansas City with those 13 seconds that everyone in Buffalo is still trying to forget. Bills Nation, loving some Ryan Wilson today. Be careful, Ryan. They might invite you up there to jump through a table if you're not careful. He is CBS Sports NFL analyst Ryan Wilson, giving us some insight into potential award winners in this coming season. And for more from Ryan, be sure to check out the Pick Six podcast. The latest episode has the guys going over win totals for the most active division in the off season. That is the AFC West. Download and follow the Pick Six podcast wherever you get your podcast audio. You can also watch the show on YouTube.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.